Welcome back to the farm again. If y'all watched along, you know we've got the corn planted and a few other little things done. So the next thing up is to get the wheat mowed and rolled and wrapped and all that good stuff. So we're going to set in today and go over the hay equipment. We got the disc bind here. We'll have to service it. And the hay roller, all it should needs greasing. And the hay rake's off up yonder in a old tobacco barn. We'll have to go get it this afternoon. I figure it'll probably need several teeth put in it and of course greased. But neither the roller or the rake's a very big deal. The disc bind's a little aggravating, but we can usually get it done 2 to 3 hours, something like that. But either way, we'll get the tractor out, get the disc bind out, and get started on it. Well, that adds something else to the list. Don't exactly know what happened there, but either way. Next thing's flip our safety latches. And I'll have to put the one on this side back on because I take it off every year because for some reason whenever you're mowing it flips itself and then the mower won't go down, and it's pretty aggravating, runs into a bunch of trouble. So I just take it off, leave it laying in the barn. Unless I need to work on it, then I put it on it just, you know, for safety reasons. And of course the floor jack won't fit under it, so we're gonna have to use the handy old handyman jack. The only problem is there ain't really exactly a flat surface to jack this thing up on, so I guess we'll just stick it somewhere and see what happens. Probably not safe, but it's off the ground. Got the old Dodge around here. We'll crank the air compressor and see if we can get that thing back on the wheel. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to take it off. I was hoping to avoid that, but oh well. Well, we'll take this thing over at the shop and see what we can do with it. Now don't y'all judge me on my shop, because it is just a little old shop and it is piled plumb full. I never did do the first thing in here this winter. Here was this winter's project, right where we rolled it in here, and I just never got time to work on it. Just like we got all the duck hunting stuff out and never went a single time. So turn the air compressor on here, let it pump up, and we'll see what we can do with that old tire. I've got one of these bead blaster thingies. I ain't never used it a time or two, and I don't really like using it, but we may have to give it a go here in a minute. Before we go the blasting route, I'm just gonna put the chuck on it and bounce it a little bit like we used to and see if that works. I don't really expect it to, but we'll try it and see. Well, I'll be darned. It did work. So, I guess I should have tried that over there. I just didn't think it would work. I figured I'd have to have this blaster thing. But either way, we'll air it on up here and see if we can figure out what the problem is. I sprayed that thing all over with dish soap and water. And the best I can come up with, you see there, is just a little bit of around the edge. It must be leaking around the wheel real slow, but of course also it's got a real good dent in it right there. It's been there for years. I don't know, one of us run it over something, I'm not sure what, but either way, we'll stick her back on there and see how long she stays up. If it becomes a problem, we'll just put a tube in it or get a new tire, one of the two. And our compressor died, so I guess we're out of gas there too, which I think I've got a gallon on the truck, so. Alright, next thing is back it up on these blocks or stands, whatever you want to call it, because that way my tall self can actually get under there and it's up here where you ain't got to really reach for nothing. So we'll do that real quick and then we'll get to work on the thing. I figured I'd give, for the ones of y'all that don't know, kind of a quick rundown of how these work or what they are. Each one of these has two blades on it, and we call that the turtle shell. And each one of these is an individual unit, and it's all shaft driven. There's a shaft and gears and bearings in this cutter bar, and since each one's its own individual unit, you have to remove the turtle shell and take the top off and put your grease in each individual unit. Some of them, I think like a John Deere's and whatnot, it's just got a central fill plug where you can just fill the whole cutter bar with oil. But anyway, that's not the way this one is. It's looking like we may get lucky on blades. The blades don't look all that bad, but either way, I'll take at least one apart and film it so y'all can see the process. But that'll probably be it. Now this thing right here can be aggravating at times. You got to get it in just a certain spot to get it to come off. There we go. And this is probably not necessary, but I always mark everything or where it was at, because I only ever take one apart at a time. But I don't figure it can hurt. I mark which way the turtle was turned, and where everything else is lined up at, just in case. And looky here, we got us some barbed wire. Then I mark this right here too. Like I said, it's probably not necessary. It's just a habit I started years ago, so I've just kept it up. But now you can see here, there's your gear, and it drives off that bevel gear on the bottom of it and turns it. Anyway, we'll go over here and get some grease and fill it up. I'm out of the grease in the little bottle, so I got a good deal on some of this in the tube, so I just take it in a paint stirring stick and just rake as much in there as I needed. It actually works out pretty good. I hope I'm getting this to where y'all can see what I'm doing, but battery died in the GoPro, but we got another one. Either way, I hope it got that last clip, but anyhow, just take my paint stirring stick, darn the wind's blowing dust everywhere, and just scrape out some grease, and I fill it up kind of levelish with that shaft in there, and then you just set your top piece back down and bolt it back. Make sure these shims are lined up. Most time them stay down in there. I don't know why these are wanting to come out so bad. And it is very easy to get these a tooth off too if you ain't careful. See, like right there I did. And the darn thing stuck. Tap it. Pop it back up. See, look at that darn shim. Them don't never give me that much trouble. Okay. See if our bolt will start. I don't ever push them down. I get my bolts started and then let it ride them down. There we go. Just tighten our bolts back up. And you ain't supposed to tighten these too tight. I read it in the manual once. It's like 11 foot-pounds or something like that. It's not very much. So I just always snug them all pretty good. And go over them twice, because sometimes they'll loosen after you tighten the full round. Alright, y'all kind of get the general idea. Now I just got to do it 6 more times and we'll be done, other than greasing all the U-joints and all that fun stuff. But either way, I'm going to turn the camera off for now and get this over with, and I'll catch back up with you in a little bit. Well, I got the disc bind finished up quite some time ago, and I'll jump in the tractor and run about 2 miles that way, which is about 5 miles down the road, to get the hay rake out of an old tobacco barn where we left it, where we finished up last fall. And got up there, had a flat tire, called Dad to bring the Dodge with the air compressor on it. Got the tire aired up, then the valve stem broke off. And so yeah, that evolved into a 3-hour process. So now he's on the way over here with the hay rake after we've done went and bought a tire and everything else. So I still got to grease this disc bind, but I'm probably gonna go ahead and back it in the barn and unhook it. It's just as easy to grease unhooked as it is hooked to the tractor. That way we can have our shady spot right here to put teeth in the hay rake. But anywho, oh, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I run off and left my camera stuck to the disc bind. That's the reason y'all didn't get to see none of what's went on the last 3 hours. But anyhow, all right, I decided to go ahead and grease these roller bearings real quick, because they will be easier to get to out here than they will in the barn. And just like always, 2 out of my 10 will run out of grease. This side over here is a little more fun because you still got your 2 bearings for your rollers, but then you also got these 2 short shafts with 4 U-joints, which usually you can get two of them, then the other 2 you have to turn it or do something stupid. But anyhow, I'd hold the tops of them up there, Nick. All right. that's got all the teeth that we can put in the rake put in it, and I got it greased. So the only thing left is the hay roller and the hay tedder, and I'm gonna go over and grease the roller here in a minute. They ain't all the bearing, everything's good with it. I just gotta give it a good greasing. But this wheel here on the front is a different branded wheel that we bought to put on here, and the teeth's different than the teeth I have, so I'll have to get some of them tomorrow and put them in there. I ain't missing but 4, I think, so that won't be no big deal. But either way, we almost got all the hay equipment ready. Luckily, there ain't a whole lot of places on this roller to grease, and I'm awful glad of that right now, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to go to the house and get some supper. And as usual, we're out of grease again. I have to go over in the truck and try to dig another tube out. I think I got another one. It's a different kind, but it's grease. That's got to count for something, right? Alrighty, that's got the roller grease. All that's left to do is put some twine in it whenever we get ready to go. And the tedder, it ain't got but like, I don't know, 8 places or something to grease on it. And it's over yonder in another barn. I'll just grease it whenever I get ready to use it, because it ain't no big deal. I guess the only chore left for today is that 885 there. I'm gonna pull it in the barn and drain the oil out of it and let it set to fill in the morning. Because I'm aiming to mow the wheat with it. But either way, I guess we'll pull it over here and do that and probably call it a day. Alrighty, we got our Harbor Freight special ratchet here. See if we can't get this popped out. There we go. And our brass washer is on there. I wish this one time I could do this without getting oil all over me, but oh well. I reckon that's about it for today. I'm gonna pull this tractor and planter back in the barn, and I guess I'll head home and see what's for supper. But either way, if y'all have watched this far, thank you for watching, and hopefully the next time we see y'all, we'll be in the hayfield. But we'll see you in the next one.